Welcome to the Williams warm-up for the Japanese Grand Prix. It was a track that last year we simply weren't competitive at. If you looked at all the tracks in and around it, we had a point scoring opportunity, but that wasn't the case in Suzuka. We really struggled there. I think a lot of fundamental changes we've made to the car this year will help us in Japan. I think there's a good base package to work from, which is not quite the case as we had it last year. And I'm intrigued to see how we're going to move up or where we're going to fit in the field relative to that. Furthermore, we have a few small updates coming to the car. Now I'm sure teams up and around the grid will be trying to target the same thing. All I can really comment on is from our perspective, we've worked hard to try and get a little bit of performance coming to the car at that event. And as we move forward from then, it will just be a bit of a whirlwind over the next few weeks beyond there in terms of tracks that, for example, we haven't been to in a while, China, or tracks that we know very well, Miami. But by then, we'll understand this package far, far more and should be able to exploit more from it as well.
Thanks very much.
That was good.
It was. Thanks so much. Yeah, I missed two, didn't I? The first one I forgot, to be entirely honest.
You ran away from the paddock. I'm late.
That was in Saudi, and then what was the last one? Australia. I had car trouble.
Yeah.
Legitimate car trouble.
Yeah,
Twice,
that's very
in fact.
true. This man is the happy owner of the most expensive BMW in UK right now.
Both family cars, done. Anyway, here I am. I've run out of excuses now, so I have to be here. Tough, very tough, I think, on the track and off the track. It was difficult decisions that needed making. On Friday, we did four representative laps on Friday before we had an early bath.
Over.
Yeah, in general then, with the way things panned out, we had 50% of the track running that we normally have across cars.
Not even, in fairness, because Logan's P2 session was disturbed as well, losing the medium set with the spin, not being able to do the diligence work on high fuel. So you had only one car, and that car was on the wrong tire. So you end up going on Sunday with a lot of unknown, and we saw we paid the price ultimately.
So we were on the back foot setup-wise, and I think understanding of tyres and that sort of thing because of how many laps you'd done and on what was available, and that's where we were. I think quite often we have a base setup, don't we? And we both go that way and end up trying things and then meeting in the middle, but we didn't get that opportunity to meet in the middle really.
All the learnings for one car, one driver, so yeah. Picking the ball was not easy. Logan and Alex were really good together. Logan talking through to Alex on his day and trying to help him before P3. Alex coming to see our side to discuss about what we did on tours, why we did it, and what we think of things, because we just had done the day. So it was nice to see everybody working together, which I think uplifted Alex on Saturday to be able to achieve what he did, which I think was really good. Saturday, I mostly followed, watch, help where I could. Sunday, I basically ended up, we are limiting how many people we can be at the track. FIA limit the personnel that are operational and that can operate and with the team. So normally everybody has a very dedicated task, and obviously I could not do my normal job, so you just come up with tasks that you normally cannot cover. And on that day, I was the official photographer of Alex Albon tires. So I was going every lap to the pit wall and taking picture of the cars, how they were passing through. So Alex and a few other drivers, and just to try to have the tire guys understanding where we were and what we could do differently to improve the tire management. So
Not one of them was in focus.
Sorry?
Nothing.
What did you say? Well,
So it's a long-winded way to say you drank coffee and ate ice cream for 8 hours, isn't it?
yes. Yeah. I think the travel back was 32 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the one time that it was the worse than that, was probably my first ever F1 race in 2020 when it was COVID, because I really traveled to Australia for no reason, because I just went back because we didn't do it in even practice. But this one felt a bit similar in a way. Weather is always one.
So like April compared to October.
Yeah, it's gonna be much cooler. So tires are going to behave quite differently. The wind is always a big player there, so that's going to be part of it. Different condition. It's probably less risk of typhoon that you normally have at the end of the year when we used to go. There was quite a few years where there was typhoon and they had to cancel a day of running, and so it's probably going to be more settled weather condition, I guess. Cooler, definitely. Right now, or at least a week ago, it was like the same temperature than in England. So if you think you're going to go racing this temperature, it's pretty chilled. It's an amazing track. It's a bit like Melbourne, what I say. Most of the drivers don't really experience that track before F1. It's not a track.
The Sector 1 with the flowing nature of it, it's quite so
unique.
many lines or ways to get around the sector, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of refinement needed and that sort of thing. And then there's still couple of slow corners, isn't there? And the figure of 8 loops, so it goes over the top of itself, which there's nothing else that we race that does that.
Very old school tracks are very punishing. The smallest mistake.
Yeah, if you have an off,
and you destroy the car.
It might be expensive.
We love it, the driver love it, but it can be very, very punishing. Karaoke bar.
Karaoke bar. The fans are good fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're like crazy mad, like fun.
Always come with fun outfit, and they're always there entrance of the track, waiting for people.
Yeah, all the gear and photo, posters and all that sort of stuff, and just even on a Thursday when normally the track's dead, isn't it? On a Thursday, the grandstands are just packed.
Yeah.
And then the same Sunday after the race, I don't think anyone goes home. They just sit there and watch everybody pack up. It's just crazy. It's good fun.
It's cool.
Apart from that,
well, I think
you were doing the traffic. We got out of the traffic jam with you last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way back to the airport, he marched us down this probably half a mile solid traffic jam. Just got out of the car and walked and waved me through, and I followed him.
Yeah, we would have.
Otherwise, we would have missed the plane.
We would have missed the plane.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a good fun
That's quite
story.
funny. But everybody's so polite; they just let us drive past everybody.
We drove past some F1 people as well in the traffic jam. That was good. No, but I think Japan is amazing because the culture is so unique, so different to our westernized culture. And you just go there and it's just an experience in itself. Just even, are we Hokkaido? I think the city we are. Yokkaichi.
Yeah.
Nothing, you see? That's my knowledge of Japan. But Yokkaichi, the city is just amazing. You just go there and you walk and you have all these small places. And last year, I found with a friend, I found a very small sushi restaurant that was amazing. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit special every time you go there, I think. It's very far away, but it's cool.
To do better than last year. Last year was tough.
Yeah.
So that's one. Hopefully there's some new bits coming. We'll see how they pan out, whether that improves car behaviour and that sort of thing, car balance. So that'll be good to see how that gets on. Keep doing better, really. There's been opportunities or we haven't been able to show the pace of the car. Then Australia, I think, was a bit difficult in that respect with the way it panned out. So hopefully just keep building on the first 3 races of the year and have something to show for everybody's efforts, really.
We're still in the same fight, I think. And right now it's very tight between a few teams to be the best of the rest and to score a point if some people don't do well ahead. And some cars having trouble in Melbourne, and there's the bottom 5 teams that are trying to pick the bone. And you see us done well, Racing Bulls done well, we're not far. There's probably a small advantage to Alfa and Alpine, but it's very, very tight, in fairness. And we just want to always be the best to pick up, and we failed to do so in Melbourne for various reasons. And right now it's a fight for development. Everyone is trying to push. You mentioned we're trying to bring stuff on the car, and all the small bits you can bring to the car can make the difference. We're talking about less than a tenth a lap between cars. So if you just bring a small thing to the car, you just do a bit of a better work on your setup, the drivers put everything together, it makes the difference.
All right, we'll see.
That's what makes it fun.
The flowing Suzuka circuit, some 400 kilometers outside of Tokyo, is a Formula One staple, a firm favorite among fans and drivers alike, and F1's only figure-of-8 layout, and it's gearing up to host its 34th Japanese Grand Prix. Given the regard in which fans and drivers view Suzuka, it sometimes seems unbelievable that it's a relatively recent addition to the sport. While the likes of Silverstone, Monza and Spa held spots in the inaugural 1950 season, Suzuka only joined the F1 calendar in 1987, but it immediately won hearts and minds. The first 5 trips to the circuit had title-deciding weekends, including Nelson Piquet clinching his final championship in the FW11B before the race even began. Damon Hill also enjoyed glory in Suzuka, claiming the 1996 World Drivers' Championship with a Williams Racing win around this legendary ribbon of tarmac. A perfect mix of 18 high, medium and slow corners welcomed drivers at the 5.8 kilometer track. It all starts down the Seoul DRS straight past the pits, before reaching an incredible 7-corner sequence where the drivers tackle a 180-degree turn and the famed S-curves. As the circuit snakes under itself, going past iconic corner names like the Degnes and Spoon, Suzuka eventually crosses back over the second sector just before the terrifyingly quick 130R. Taking this blink-and-you-miss-it left-hander flat out is the intention should a driver want a fast lap time. Aside from Damon's 1996 win, we also have 2 other top-step triumphs around the superb Suzuka. Our first Japanese Grand Prix celebrations came with Riccardo Patrese's 1992 victory in his final win for Williams Racing and of his career, and Damon honed his Japanese driving 2 years later in '94, beating pole-sitting Michael Schumacher to the flag to close the championship gap to just 1 point heading into the final round. We've scored plenty of points in recent history here too, with 5 top 10 finishes in our last 8 Suzuka outings. It's a great circuit with countless special memories, so join us as we look to make more this weekend at williamsf1.com and on the Williams Racing app.